Sexual assault in Nigeria has been described as an epidemic, and for these actresses that were about to celebrate, they were once victims but have been able to garner enough strength to not just overcome the horrible ordeal and move on with their lives, but also to share their stories, hoping to inspire others to also have the strength to do the same. Number 1. For actress Foluke Daramola, her story is one that begins with pain and hurt, but has led to her helping other women who have suffered a similar fate. In an interview she granted The Punch in 2013, the intelligent actress described her ordeal in the hands of a tenant when she was just 17 and explained how her family had to manage the situation at the time. She is quoted to have said, "My first introduction to sex was rape. It was with one of our tenants. I got so close to him and saw him as an elder brother. He looked at me as someone that had been exposed because I was busty, and he thought I had had a sexual experience before. So he had his way with me. Then it was not something you tell the whole world. People said we should keep quiet about it. Then they tried to make trouble with him, but subsequently, people said we should keep quiet about it. We had to try and manage it in our own way, even though it affected me for a long time psychologically. I had to gradually get over it. I believed so much in the principle of keeping your virginity till you're married." End of quote. Foluke Daramola had to speak with a psychiatrist to get over the trauma. In 2015, the actress, who believes that the government should make death the penalty for rape, kicked off her foundation PARA, Passion Against Rape in Africa, a pan-world global rape foundation aimed at fighting rape in Africa. The foundation aims to prevent rape by educating young women and men on the menace at an early age, and also provides care for victims.
I salute your courage, and I want to implore everyone to say no to any form of rape, any form of intimidation in any way. As women, we should not stand for it. You should always speak your voice. If your voice is not heard enough in your environment, go to the social media and get it out.
Number 2. For actress Juliet Ibrahim, her first sexual assault ordeal was in the hands of an older relative when she was just 8 years old. The Ghanaian beauty narrated her horrible experiences in her popular book, A Toast to Life, and also in an interview that she granted Cool FM in August 2019.
I'm like, because I've gone through so much that even somebody who's 60 years old probably will not go through the experiences. I've experienced molestation, I've experienced rape, I've experienced domestic violence.
You're running very fast. I know.
Like, it's a lot. Trust me, like a whole lot. With molestation, I think in my book, I probably had like about 4 different recounts in the book.
Wow.
And it started from about 8 years old.
8 years old.
Yes.
8 years old.
I remember that was my grand uncle.
Your grand uncle.
Yes, then cousins. But with him, I was able to fight it off. Then my cousins, who I was very close to, then a couple of years later was someone like a regular guy, but this one he had bribed my nanny, the maid in the house, to come into our house when my parents weren't around, so he could do whatever he wanted to do. Wow. And I fought him like the fight was serious, and I was about 14 years old at the time.
Sad, very sad. Juliet Ibrahim went on to explain how writing the book A Toast to Life and sharing her ordeals were a form of therapy for her and helped her get through her experience. Number 3. Mrs. W, actress Adesoye Tomi Wellington, is another female Nollywood practitioner that's had a horrible sexual ordeal in the hands of men. In June 2019, the wedding party actress narrated on Twitter how as a young girl her lesson teacher had grabbed her breasts. She wrote, "Mine, lesson teacher. Man actually grabbed tits that I didn't even really have. Ran out of the house, told my auntie. She tried to make me continue the lessons. Her exact words were, 'If your teacher in school makes a pass, will you stop going to class?' My mom believed me though." Responding to people who were downplaying her experience, she further added, "If you haven't experienced trauma, please shut it. I wasn't raped, but when he grabbed my tits, I froze out of fear before I realized that I could run, and run I did. Number 4. Actress Perdita Adewole in a vlog post at the end of February 2020 revealed how she lost her virginity to armed robbers.
Back when I was 15 years old, I know this would be another shocker for people, but then again, we're Africans, we've heard this several times. So I was raped at 15, were attacked by armed robbers in the house, and I got raped at 15, and that was, as you know, first experience and horror.
Perdita Adewole goes on to explain how she didn't get any therapy or had any discussions about the ordeal with anyone, and it had a big impact on her relationships as intimacy was a no-go area for her. She got married several years later, and even though she had explained her situation to her hubby pre-wedding, he even got her a book, it became a serious problem.
I was depressed for most times because of this. I didn't know what to do, whether to go to hospital, to talk to a doctor, or who. I didn't know where to go. The book I was reading, I was trying to practice what I was written there, but it wasn't working.
According to her, her sexual problem came to an end after she discussed her ordeal with a petty trader that lived close by. The trader, who had had a similar experience, gave Perdita a tip that worked. Number 5. Another actress who was unfortunately raped by an armed robber is Bling Lagosian star Elvina Ibro. In 2004, she was raped by an armed robber in her partner's home. The actress, who is not silent about her ordeal, never let the incident shame or castigate her. Her response? She set up an advocacy group to manage the young and old ones who have been through the same ugly incident, and believes that one day she will meet her rapist again. Number 6. Actress Dorothy Tomasi revealed in a 2015 interview with Sahara TV that she had been raped over 12 times.
The first time I was raped, I was 4 years old, and it was neighbor's houseboy and his friends. I've also been in other conditions that I've been raped. If I've not been raped in my lifetime, I've been raped over a dozen times. Well, the most recent was it was an attempted rape, but that one, everybody in my family, because that one, in all honesty, I was ready to murder him. Because he says we should come and we should talk about it, and we should just come and talk about our differences. He was sorry for, and before I knew it, he was violent.
While acknowledging that response to rape in Nigeria is zero, she sees the fact that she was raped as the reason why she should speak up. Today, she runs the Dorothy Tomasi Foundation, and her story inspired the documentary Silent Tears. Number 7. And the final entrant on the list of victors is Bamike Olaomi of BBNaija, popular as Bam Bam. During the Busola Dakolo Biodun Fatoyinbo anti-rape campaign of 2019, the reality TV star, who coincidentally starred as a rape victim in the music video for Child of the World by Fowls, took to Twitter to narrate how she had been raped by an ex-boyfriend and a spiritual leader in the past. She wrote, "My heart has been heavy since this rape situation started. Like, I feel physical pains in my heart. I've been truly sad and have never wished that justice be truly served to these heartless, insensitive, brutal, unrepentant rapists. Because I have been there, I know what it does to the mind and self-esteem of the victim. It was with an ex-boyfriend and a spiritual leader I trusted. It took me meeting another man who saw me for me before I healed completely. Sadly, I couldn't end up with him, but God used him." Writing on the psychological scars that accompanied the nightmare, she added, "Cause when you take the body of another without their consent, you mentally scar them too. Yo, I trust God and I want to trust the Lord to do the needful. For the longest, I didn't realize I haven't fully healed and mentally, emotionally dealt with what those events did to me. I repressed them, repressed the memories shared with no one. It's important to surround yourself with kind people who listen and understand you. It helps to heal properly. And please don't repress. Prayerfully talk to the right people." Sad, heartbreaking, and hurtful stories, all of them. Experiences that none of these women needed to have, but have become victors over. We hope that they inspire others to talk. While the majority of the stories that we have shared in this feature are of incidents that occurred before the victims became famous or prominent in Nollywood, we must acknowledge that sexual harassment is prevalent in the entertainment industry, and more specifically, Nollywood. There have been various cases of reported sexual roles in the past, but what else would you expect in the industry where a senator who was caught on camera physically assaulting a woman was made a patron of the AGN, the umbrella union that regulates and represents the affairs of film actors in Nigeria and abroad. Sure hope you enjoyed this video. For more entertaining video content such as behind the scenes of music videos and movies, music concerts, premieres, interviews, and exclusive gists, subscribe now to our YouTube channel Goldmynetv and be unleashed into a world of super excitement.